Going to read throughout this week, and here is the front cover. It's called Tiny Rabbit's Big Wish. It is written by Margarita Engel. She's the author. What does the author do in a book? Writes the words. Our illustrator is David Walker. What does an illustrator do in a book? Draws the pictures. Very good. Okay, I hear two words that have opposite meanings in our title. Let's see. Antonyms, two words that have opposite meanings. Let's read it again. Tiny rabbit's big wish. So tiny and big, opposite meanings. Now let's look at the picture here on the front cover. What do you see? This must be our main character, Tiny Rabbit. And what do you think might be happening in this picture? It's like he is making a wish. He's making a wish. Stars, wish upon a star. Right. This story is a fable. Here's an anchor chart to teach us a little about fables. A fable is a type of folktale. Fables usually are short, have talking animals, take place outside, and they teach a lesson. These are some famous fables that you may have heard of before. The Fox and the Grapes, The Lion and the Mouse, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, The Tortoise and the Hare, The Fox and the Crow. Out of all of those, I'd say maybe you've heard of The Tortoise and the Hare more than the others, or maybe The Boy Who Cried Wolf. But let's think for a minute about The Tortoise and the Hare. So the tortoise and the hare are the main characters, and they kind of act like people in the story. They're running a race, okay, and the fable teaches the lesson that taking your time is better than hurrying. All right, so our story today is also a fable. Tiny Rabbit's Big Wish. Okay, so I'm going to read. Make sure you have your listening ears ready. Okay, I hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. Tiny Rabbit's Big Wish. Here's our title page, Tiny Rabbit's Big Wish. A tiny rabbit dreamed of growing as huge as the forest, with legs as tall as trees and eyes the size of moons. He wished for a nose as long as an elephant's trunk, and he wished for a tail as gigantic as a mountain. Tiny Rabbit wished and wished, but no matter how enormous his big wish grew, he was still tiny. So what is Tiny Rabbit's wish? What is he wishing for? He wants to be big. He wants to be huge and tall with a long nose and a gigantic tail. So he's wishing that he was bigger, that he was huge and tall. So he wished some more, and while he was wishing, time passed, and he grew. But he grew only a little bit. So Tiny Rabbit wished and wished that he could grow as sky high as a giraffe. And he did grow. But he only grew to the height of a slightly taller small rabbit. So Tiny Rabbit started wishing to grow as powerful as a gorilla. But instead, he grew only 2 long, tall, powerful ears to help him hear every loud or quiet sound in the forest. Tiny Rabbit's big ears helped him hear rhinos stomping, eagles screeching, frogs trumpeting, thunder booming, branches crashing, and a mischievous monkey cheerfully chatting. Tiny Rabbit could even hear leaves rustling, beetle jaws crunching, and butterfly wings flapping. Best of all, Tiny Rabbit's wonderful ears could always hear whenever a huge, hungry lion was near. So that Tiny Rabbit could jump, thump, hop to his tiny, cozy, safe, hidden rabbit den. Where he was enormously happy to be smart and small. Okay, what part of Tiny Rabbit is big? What part of him ended up being big after all? His what? His ears. His ears are big. And how do his big ears help him? What do his big ears do to help him? They help him hear all the sounds in the forest, and they help him stay safe from hungry lions. So he wanted to grow big and tall and huge, but he stayed small, except for his ears, right? His ears did get big. But in the end, he was happy to be smart and small. Okay, now let's talk about the characters. What are characters? Characters are the people, things, animals, or creatures in a story. Now, who is our main character? Tiny Rabbit is our main character. And then we had some other animals like the monkey and the hungry lion. Yes. What about the setting? Remember, setting is where a story takes place. So where were Tiny Rabbit and all the other animals? Where are they during the story? They're where do they all live? In the forest. So it takes place in the forest. And then the main events, so the important things that happen. So in the beginning, Tiny Rabbit wished to grow huge and tall. He wanted a really long nose and a huge tail. But did he get any of those things? No, but he did get big ears that helped keep him safe and helped him hear everything around him. So in the end, do you think he still wished to be big and huge and tall? No, I think that he was happy to be himself, right? So our essential question that we've been talking about, what makes each of us special? So in the end of this story, Tiny Rabbit is happy to be small with big ears. He's happy being himself. Okay, nice job listening. I hope you loved the story. See you soon.